I just got my little Mild football in the mail, and this I got for his birthday drop, I believe. He had a bunch of rainbow splits, and I just kind of wanted to do a color split because I figured rainbow would be hard to match with the wheels. So I ordered this bad boy. I've been meaning to try out a football, so here it is. And yeah, like first right off the bat, I'm really impressed with it for 25 bucks. Most decks are 30 bucks and up that you see nowadays, and for him to be a big, or kind of a larger name like that and be selling something like this for 25 bucks is pretty awesome. And like not much strikes me for poor quality. The lacquer looks amazing. I know some people don't like the lacquered over sticker, but I think it looks pretty cool. And yeah, it feels like the top here isn't lacquered. But holes are really nice. Everything is spot on pretty much on the deck side of things performance-wise. No like kind of misshapen. Everything's shaped properly and equally. The only thing I've noticed so far is countersinks are like, they're alright. It's kind of hard to tell on the camera. But yeah, they're kind of like the Cowply countersinks. They're like almost like a step down, if that makes sense. They're actually really similar to the Cowply countersinks, so you can see better on the Cowply. Countersinks are more of a step down than say like Idol. I think an Idol is the best countersinks I have. You can see these have a really nice smooth and down motion, but that's not really too much of a complaint, honestly. It's just more of nitpicking. So I'd say that's the only thing that would pop out as me as making it not a $30+ deck. And then another kind of like picky thing I guess you could go at is you can see the split is a little uneven. It's not exactly 50-50 split. Up here it's pretty 50-50, but you can see it come closer to the left side on these holes down here. It's kind of like at a slope. But yeah, other than that, it's really nice. Something that it will also be hard for the camera to pick up, but it has just super nice rounding on it. A lot of as you see, a lot of brands nowadays not really rounding their stuff very well, and this has really superb rounding. It's almost got that kind of what was it, half moon shape. You can kind of see on the plies too. Let's see if I can zoom in. There we go. That's a much better view. But you can see that really nice rounding. You can kind of see on the tail here where the plies kind of fade off. It's also pretty skinny of a deck, I would say, in comparison to my other decks. It's and I don't think I'm very qualified to speak on that. I don't know if it uses thinner veneer or it's just pressed harder, but it feels really nice, and it's kind of one of those more thin feeling decks. Also to note, which is pretty cool, kind of added some top ply art here, which I always really like. It's always nice to have that extra little step. So it's like a little homage to it being dropped on his birthday, and then 2020 stock using the holes as the O's. Kind of like see a lot of people do that. Mercury decks, Woob. So yeah, really, I don't see any issues with this. I'm excited to set it up. I'm excited to try a football. And it's nice that this one's nicely rounded and at a really great price too. So I'll probably make a video coming up here where I set this thing up and then come back to you guys and review it. But yeah, no really complaints. And as far as I can see from now, I would highly recommend it. So I guess next I can get into the shapes and comparing those and just measuring stuff out, tell you what's looking like. I actually don't know a whole lot about this shape. I mean, I just bought it on impulse because I really wanted to try a football, and I really want to try Mild, so when I saw him do a drop, I was just right on it. So here we go. I pulled up actually my deck itself on his website, and It says it's a hot mold, which is medium kicks and concave. So I believe his other mold is a spicy mold, and I think that's more of an aggressive mold, I want to say. Let me double check myself here. So spicy is actually low kicks and medium concave, and this mold is medium kicks and concave. So this is actually his medium mold as opposed to what I thought it was, which is a low mold. So that should be interesting. But I have to say right off the bat too, looking at this deck, I really like the concave. I'm usually not big for decks with really sharp concave, so I don't like a lot of kind of aggressive decks. But this just looks really nice and kind of a cozy medium here. It just seems super nice. I don't know really what to compare it to. I don't think I actually have any decks that I can compare it to. Maybe it's a little more aggressive than this is a Poly P3, which the P3 is probably is well, the P3 is my favorite shape, so it probably definitely has my favorite concave. And it feels like the Mild is just a little kind of steeper, a little more aggressive, but not by too much here. So if that helps you see the Mild's concave any better. And then the P3 is gripped, so I can't really show off that as much. So I guess in comparison, a P3 would be a good comparison, especially because a lot of people would have a P3 too. Here you can really see the thinness of the plies on the Mild as compared to the P3. That is just really thin, especially in comparison to the P3, which I really like actually. And then here are the shapes side by side. So they're pretty alike, I would say. It looks like the Mild is a little longer, the kicks are a little farther out. But yeah, I definitely put it in that medium mold. It's like maybe a tad bit steeper than the P3. And the P3 is known to have a small tail, so you can see that there. Looks like this Mild tail is the same length on either side. Here's another one. A lot of people have DKs, so this is the DK shape kind of up against it. Very similar. And you can still see that just thinness to the Mild too, even with the DK, which is a relatively thin board. The Mild is just almost paper thin. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, and then here's it with the salt water, which is relatively low. I'm guessing his spicy mold would be a lot more like the salt water here. So you can see where the kind of aggressiveness comes in on the salt water. And that football shape looks amazing. Salt water is a little more boxy too. Okay, so I got the trusty caliper. Turn it on. And let's see kind of what dimensions we have on it. So this is what I was also wondering about when ordering the football shape, but it seems like from the wheels here, the wheel width to the actual middle of the board, it's actually pretty close to the same. It maybe gets a tad bit wider. You can see kind of where the kicks come in. It shortens coming into the tail here, but it actually doesn't get a lot fatter coming into the middle. I think the best deck I have example is the 8 equals Decks Chode. You can really see on this deck how the best example is, so this widest part is 38, but these 34mm trucks fit pretty exceptionally, especially with redemptions on it. So you can see how this one really widens out, whereas this does not really have the same effect. Which is nice, which is kind of, I was expecting it to do that, and it doesn't. So that should be kind of nice and consistent, especially for doing flip tricks and stuff. But at the middle, so from the very center, it is 34.5 15 millimeters. So 34 millimeters at the center. And actually here, so coming like directly from where the base plates would be. So it actually drops down to 33 here, if you could see where I was measuring. Right about here where your wheels will be, it drops down to 33 millimeters. So it does kind of have that fattening in the middle, but only really by a millimeter, which is expected to make this tail to pretty much just make the football shape. So I'd say it's pretty good. I think it was a 34 on the website, which I'd agree would be accurate. It actually doesn't have a width measured. So, I mean, you could call it either. You could call this a 33 if you wanted to, just based on that. But I would say all around it's a 34 millimeter deck. Okay, so this is wheelbase here. 40.66 millimeters. I actually haven't dove too deep far into wheelbases, but just so you guys know, that's 40.66 millimeters. 97.19. Well, I haven't ridden it yet, but I'd say off of first impressions is something I'm really gonna like. And for 25 bucks, I think it was 30 shipped in the United States. It's just really impressive. I would highly recommend it just off of kind of these first impressions. Also to note, came with some sponsor me tape and just a couple little stickers. I haven't tried sponsor me tape, so I can't talk on it, but tape's always nice when you order a deck, especially when it's a third party of tape. And yeah, 25 bucks. I definitely recommend it.